Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tales of Eldura. I'm Beth. Which side did we say you're on? This side? This is Jonathan. No, this is Jonathan. And so we're the two writers behind D&D Duet, and we are super excited to be hanging out with you. So, friends in chat, hello. We're really glad you're here. Future friends who are on YouTube, welcome to you as well. Or future friends on Twitch, welcome to you as well. We would love for you to like and subscribe, follow, whatever button is below that's happy. Click that right away.
Hit all the buttons.
That would be great. Okay, so honey, do you want to talk about what we're doing?
Well, we are in the midst of an adaptation of Baldur's Gate: Descent into Avernus, and we are adapting it for one-on-one play, and we've also relocated it into the world of Eldura, set in the dark past of our homebrew campaign world / fantasy reality of Azuria. Yeah.
Cool. And so, do we want to thank our sponsors for tonight?
You think the special people, and I'll thank the book.
Okay. So, our patrons sponsor our stream, and we're so thankful for your all support and encouragement of us and our work. If you would like to have a monthly adventure and to mostly a monthly adventure with magical item and PC, as well as an easier way to kind of correspond with us, ask questions about your duet game, have a community of other people who play in a duet. We would love for you to join us on Patreon, which you can do at patreon.com/Grove Guardian Press. And current patrons, we're just so thankful for you guys. So thank you.
Mad love. Our stream is also sponsored by Beth's upcoming novel, Hadvarian Heist. Hadvarian Heist tells the story of a world of high fantasy magic and nature that teeters on the brink between light and darkness. Ancient forces awaken and new heroes rise to the occasion. But this time, can they prevail? Find out in the exciting upcoming sequel to the very exciting and fun Buried Heroes. In this novel packed with all kinds of good stuff: druids, pirates, werewolves, and more. You can pre-order Hadvarian Heist wherever you pre-order books, but especially through bethballbooks.com. I think it released, was it December 8th or 12th?
December 8th.
Oh man, that's even sooner than the 12th.
It's so soon. It's a month and 2 days away. Hurry! I'm really excited. I've been proofreading this novel all day, so it's like this close to being ready, and the final version going out to all the places. If you do want to read more about it, you can at bethballbooks.com/Hadvarian-heist. And if you just go to my website, you'll find the prologue too, if you want to kind of get a preview. The same thing on the ebook stores. You can get a preview, and on my website as well. If you click the, I think, purchase direct from author button, it'll take you to where you can download the first 3-4 chapters.
Jump on it. Honey, should I do the Gareth thing?
I think so. Do we have any other announcements or anything?
Ooh.
I can share really fast while we're like getting into the groove. So earlier this week, I went to a content creation conference. I was telling our newsletter readers about this earlier today. And starting for our 2-year anniversary of D&D Duet, we're going to have a podcast at the beginning of next year. So I'm super excited about that. And we'll have more details for you all as that gets going.
Very exciting stuff.
Okay, now we can do the Gareth thing.
Let's do it. I'm Gareth Stosdak, heretofore a mild-mannered blacksmith plying my trade in the walled city of Respite. I like the timbre of my voice today. It sounds good.
That's so good.
I was minding my own business when one day a bunch of refugees from the nearby city of Beacon showed up at the doorstep of Respite seeking aid. This was particularly distressing, as my son Patrick had enlisted in the Army of Light, and the whereabouts of the city were unknown. With the help of my compatriots, a powerful witch named Tessina and an interplanar agent provocateur in the form of Evelyn, we discovered that Beacon had been drugged to the negative planes by the machinations of the nefarious Azrael. We managed, with the help of Tessina's folks, to fly aboard a phoenix named Verdigris into the fallen city of Beacon, where we encountered devils and demons and all manner of horror and terror, until eventually we did find Patrick, who was evidently being assailed by a helm crafted and designed and gifted by my own deity, Vulcan. I tore the helmet asunder off of Patrick's head and was filled with the compulsion to place it upon my own, and immediately descended into madness and pain, tempered with a vision from Vulcan. I saw Vulcan lay before me, the work to be done, the path to be trod, and I have since determined that I shall walk this difficult path and free Beacon from the chains that bind it, no matter the cost. Yep, that's it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yay! So I think when we left off, you guys were just about to take a long rest. Is that right?
I'm so excited about this long rest.
I know, we're like, everything,
We're beat up.
we're out of all of it.
We're bruised.
I never clicked the right button for the long rest. Okay.
Is that a button I can click now?
Oh, so I thought so. Oh, here it is. Long rest.
I'm going to click that button.
Take long rest. Why isn't it doing it?
Did you confirm it?
Uh-huh. I clicked it a bunch of times. Maybe that was the problem.
Long rest.
Yay! Long rest taken. So, Gareth, you awake the next morning to hear Tessina chattering away with Patrick and his friend Ansel. Patrick and his friend Ansel. And she's regaling them with tales of your very exciting deeds and the pirate ship on land that you guys went into in Beacon and how exciting that was, and all of the journeys through the through Lee's Main, the little girl that you met, Ruby, all of those exciting things.
Nice. As I am listening in, is Tessina just kind of going on and on?
Yes.
What is Tessina's attitude towards Patrick? Can I roll an insight check on her or anything?
Yes. And then Gareth was like, well, we should go into this cave opening. And Evelyn was like, I'm not so sure. This doesn't seem like where we should be going.
21.
21. Nice. What are you trying to find out? Tessina seems a lot like herself. And she's really into her story.
Okay. I don't think it's anything more than just Tessina being Tessina. Is she trying to make me or her come off a certain way, or is she telling her story with any kind of end in mind?
So I think that with your 21 insight, you do get the impression that Tessina is trying to make you come across as really cool, but not in a manipulative way. She just thinks that you're really cool.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so some parts of her story seem kind of exaggerated, potentially, but it also seems like that might just be the way that Tessina remembers things happening.
That makes sense. We had a pretty exaggerated experience.
Yes. Oh, Gareth, good morning. How are you?
I feel like I've woken up in the negative plane after sleeping on um, a chunk of marble for a pill. That's exactly what's happened. I'm as well as you could
Yes.
imagine.
Oh, good. I found this extra sack of flour and used that for a pillow.
That was smart. I should have looked around this halfling bakery that we find ourselves in.
Well, everything else is gone. I would have shared, but everyone was asleep when I found it.
Right. Well, what are our next steps today? Shall we figure out how the heck to get to Stumblebone or whatever? I'm a really responsible D&D player, so I definitely wrote down all the things that I was supposed to have written down.
You keep talking about the Phoenix.
It made a big impression.
That's not. Yeah, but that's not the Phoenix's name.
Verdigris?
That's the deity. She's the Titan of nature. Viridian is the demon. No, that's still not the Phoenix.
Yeah,
Rowan's Phoenix has a crazy name that I can't find right now, so I've just let it go.
Feldspar.
I switched notebooks partway through. Feldspar. Thank you. I'm going to write that down. Okay. There. The Phoenix named Feldspar. Gareth, someone mistakenly called where we're going something else, but I found out while I was asleep magically that we're going to the Eternal Forest.
The Eternal Forest.
I think it used to be a forest, but isn't so much anymore, but it's really big.
That sounds difficult to navigate. Does your shadow friend know where we're supposed to go in this Eternal Forest?
She said to the middle.
Ah, yes.
So I was like, that makes sense. She actually doesn't think the middle will be too far away. The problem with the Eternal Forest is it's so near to the River Styx that you can accidentally think that that's where you're from and live for always after you lose all of your memories.
Good.
It's kind of like a swamp. Like if you took the witchwood and filled it with like a couple of feet of water, killed most things, covered them in like a deadly moss. But I think that the negative planes are going to be more interesting when we get down there than they are from up here. In like a bad and good way.
From up here, it looks like it's just an insane, fiery battlefield of demons and devils killing each other in ever increasingly creative ways.
Yeah, so how are we going to get past them?
That's an interesting problem. Can you magic disguises for us, perhaps?
Probably. Do you want to pretend to be a demon or a devil?
The devils seem to do more talking before they start stabbing. So perhaps a devil.
So, okay. How do you feel about the really big eyebrows?
I feel positively about really big eyebrows.
Okay, well, I'll get to work on that. I'm sure I have accessories to help make this totally happen, really believably.
What could possibly go wrong? So Tessina does not have, like, disguise self or seeming or anything like that.
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you.
Okay. She's going to find some makeup and try to make you look like a devil, awesome. And we'll see how it goes. I took some of these from Rowan. I don't think she'll mind. She starts coloring in the eyebrows for you.
We could... a lot of these people that are serving the bad guys are normal people that just look kind of crazed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we could try to
That's kind of what Tessina is going for.
Yeah, we can kind of try to craze it up a little bit. Tessina, do you have any idea if we can see from our high vantage point, the Eternal Forest from Beacon? Is there any place in Beacon from which we could get a lay of the land? Because this map is... It's like this map was created by a madman or something.
It's like it's not so good. Well, I don't even think the Eternal Forest is on the map. It does tend to move around.
The forest moves around.
Everything moves around here. That's why the map isn't so good.
Oh. Okay.
So that's what my shadow friend said. So she thinks that we could go to the edge and just kind of hope for the best.
Right. What could possibly go wrong?
We could fall in the river Styx. We could get taken by someone. We could get traded to someone else. We could get our souls taken away from us. Probably other things that we haven't thought of yet. Gareth, how are we going to get down? We're like all the way up here, and we need to descend like 500 feet. And I really don't feel comfortable jumping more than like 5. I can jump pretty far. Justina demonstrates by jumping like, 2 feet forward and back a couple of times.
That is impressive. There's no doubt.
But it's not really going to help us get down the big chains.
No.
Can I tell you a little bit more about the chains while we figure this out?
Yes, tell me more about the chains.
Sorry, DM me is going to tell you more about the chains. Okay. So there are jagged posts and enormous chains of infernal iron that hold Beacon to the ground of the negative planes. Excuse me. Each chain link is 30 feet long and 20 feet wide and is formed of a welded loop of infernal iron that is 5 feet thick. The chains are covered in 1 foot long iron barbs that make them relatively easy to move along. The posts of infernal iron that anchor Beacon to the ground likewise offer numerous handholds for climbing. So if you guys did want to climb down, you could. It's almost like they designed it where your size people could
easily
climb around.
Up and down the chains.
Mm-hmm. However, you know enough, Gareth, as a... actually, Gareth, roll a... I'm trying to say what kind of check it would be. Maybe you make a perception check for me, just kind of from what you've seen of the chains so far. Perception or religion. I'm happy with either.
I rolled a 4 for perception.
Okay. Roll with advantage.
Have you seen what is the chain again? How about this is gonna be like last week. I rolled a 7.
Ansel. So we saw somebody trying to climb down the chains, and they were there. They did okay for a minute or two. Well, not really even a minute. At about the 1 minute mark, they screamed, and they let go, and then they fell. But it seemed like touching it for a long time eventually hurt their hands.
Well, I was thinking, there are these...
You seem pretty tough, so you might be okay.
I have a good observation, Ansel, but I've been thinking there's... when we were in the Witchwood, I saw these curious, slow-moving creatures that had, like, these claw hands, and they used them to climb.
Are they evil?
No, well, probably not. Tessina knows them. She told me they were sloths. But I was thinking about...
If they're nice.
I was thinking about a device that I could make for us, like bracers that would hook for us so that we wouldn't have to just use our hands the whole way down.
And we could pretend to be sloths?
You would have to, yes.
So will we like hold on to the sloth hands while we climb down? Do you think Evelyn's just going to turn into a sloth? She's on the patrol right now. She'll be back.
She could, I mean, turning into some... I guess it depends on how long we're going to be going down.
It's pretty far.
Ansel, dude, if you watched them climb for like an hour, right? And then they started screaming?
No, like they tried to climb for like a minute and then they screamed and then they fell.
Ah. Well,
None of the fiends seemed to mind climbing it, but that person did.
right. I'm pretty sure that, like, it'll be metal here and hook, and we could use your fingers or not use your fingers. And maybe some spikes to go on the end of our boots.
We're going to spike through the infernal chains.
No, it'll just give you an extra kind of hook tip for if you slip.
And I can catch myself.
Catch it, indeed.
Okay. Well, I wish we could just make Princess Slobberchops really big, and then she could fly us down.
That's a great idea.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. Do I have a potion of
giant trusomeness?
I've got a potion of animal friendship and a potion of fire breath, but nothing like you're describing.
We could give Princess Slobberchops the potion of fire breath.
She'd be like a tiny cat dragon.
Exactly. She'd be so fierce.
I'm gonna start working on these accoutrements for our bracers and boot tips.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend to be a sloth.
Good. We all have a task. Ansel, do you have any access, or could you find any rope? I lost my rope earlier.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can find you some rope. He scurries away. So it's just you and Patrick.
Son?
Father?
I've determined that you should stay here when we go down to the surface of the plane.
You said as much yesterday. Why are you going down to the surface?
It's complicated.
So explain it to me. I understand that you came down here for me, but why go down there? Why are you so determined to save Beacon? What's left of it?
A beacon was my home before Respite.
Well, you left.
Beacon was your mother's home.
She's gone.
I don't know if I can fully explain it to you, son, but when I found out that something had happened here, I only thought of you and your safety, and I did my best to move as quickly and as assuredly as I could between where I was and where you were, and I would not have been able to accomplish that by myself. I'm not even really talking about Tessina and Evelyn, but while I was fixated on getting down here, I didn't really stop to think about how that was possible. And one of the ways that it's been possible is Vulcan has seen me through. to you. Vulcan has allowed me to come down here and see you well, and you are safe right now. Are you still determined to stay here and help these people? Are you still determined to see Beacon arrive? You still will not allow me to call Feldspar J. Phoenix and whisk you out of here?
Unless Feldspar can whisk everyone else out too, then why is what I'm doing? I'm not going down to the surface.
Right, so if you're not going down to the surface and you're not leaving until everybody's safe, I'm gonna make everybody safe, not only for you, not only for those people, but also because the path that Vulcan has shown me.
What if we abandoned the city and just got everyone out?
I've got a one-way trip with the Phoenix Sun. I don't know how else to get out of here besides cutting Beacon free from the floor of the plane. Do you have some genius plan that you've been holding out on me?
No, but I think that your plan is crazy. Why would the plan be to somehow cut the chains free? Why doesn't Vulcan just whoop and up we go? If he's so concerned about it.
I thought you were a follower of Alona. Do you know it's not in the...
And here I am.
Gareth looks sad. It's not about... It's never about with the gods just waving a hand and having it done. It's about the... It's about the journey and getting it done. It's about having faith that through your efforts you can make an impact in the world. You can do things that seem impossible. If you're...
You sound like Mom.
Gareth has a range of emotions play across his face. He just kind of, after he kind of composes himself for a minute, he'll just kind of smile. I guess so.
Are you doing this because you think that she would want us to free Beacon?
That's part of it, I suppose. But I think more than that, it's seeing this through, and you know that I'm not one to leave work half finished.
I know that.
And failing to do what I could to return Beacon to its proper place would to be walking away from Vulcan's task half finished, and it's not in me.
Okay. Well, then can you accept similar reasons for me to stay here?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
To stay here and Beacon while you go down to the surface.
I'm sorry, is he asking if I can accept reasons why he'd want to stay in Beacon? Gareth is pro him staying in Beacon while he goes to the surface, so yes.
Okay. Sorry, Gareth wants to whisk him away.
But he won't do that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you.
Do you want to tell me about why you're hell-bent on staying? Do you have some personal connections to these fine people? I'm sure you do.
I spent the last month trying to keep them alive, trying to keep myself alive.
done a fine job. Gareth is gonna walk up and give Patrick a hug and then walk off.
Cute. Okay. It goes just fine. It's a little awkward, but mostly just fine.
We'll take the awkward hug. We're into it.
Yeah, Patrick pats you on the back.
Do you want to stoke
Evelyn is there as you walk away.
Oh.
Are you ready?
I'm going to make us some climbing apparatus so that we can operate, or so that we can navigate the chain of pain down to the surface without...
Chain of pain?
The chains that are holding Beacon, they're apparently bad. We don't want to touch them very much.
I found this kid with a bunch of rope and I took it from him.
Good. Can I mark down 50 feet of rope?
Yes. You see a very pouty-looking Ansel behind Evelyn. That I found that for you, Gareth, Mr. Stostock.
Good boy.
He quiets down when he gets glared at. Are we ready?
Gareth needs an hour to make the implements.
The sloth hands.
The sloth hands. Sloth hands and feet.
And feet. Okay.
So he'll throw himself into that work.
I'm trying to figure out if you guys could have just made some gloves or something.
This is way better. I can only make stuff out of metal, so...
I know.
So we make that, and I think that we're going to try to... I think we'll need food. Probably there's nothing to eat on the plane of terribleness. I've got 20 rations.
Okay.
And so
I'm sure you guys have been eating some of those.
Yeah.
And there are a whole bunch of people who are going to starve as you leave. Just to throw some things at you.
So wait, why would us leaving starve them?
They don't have any food. They've been down here for a month. You saw on your way to the cemetery, you saw a mother trading a baby for food. It's really horrible down here. The rations you've eaten taste like ash. It's gross. Can't you and Evelyn create things?
I was just looking at that.
Evelyn can create water.
That'll be helpful.
She does have to use a spell slot for it.
Yeah, create or destroy water. And I think Gareth has... Yeah, I can create food in water. It's a 3rd level spell. I can make 45 pounds of food and 30 gallons of water.
Wow.
Enough to sustain up
Evelyn
to
can just
15 humanoids or 5 steeds.
That sounds excessive. Evelyn can just make some good berries. The little lady, seems just starts with a J. Anyway, Gareth, the woman who helped revive you, she comes up and says, Feria Jenks comes up with a little bowl of berries and says, Sultan had these on his person, and if you want to take them with you, you can. He sent them out with me just in case. The nervous one and I can make them for the people who are here. Roll a D100.
Okay. D100. 42.
You have 21 good berries.
Wow.
And so that is enough to make, so they can sustain a grown person for a full day.
So with our party of 3, we got a week before we have to get into our rations.
Or for Evelyn to make you more good berries.
Cool. I can dig it.
Garrett, I don't think I can eat just like one berry.
Have you tried it?
No.
I think that you'll find, if you eat one, that you are quite full.
Do they taste that bad?
No, they're delicious.
Are you telling Evelyn? I'm sorry. Are you telling Tessina the truth?
I am. I don't think Gareth knows, so I think that he's just trying to be convincing.
Okay, roll a deception check.
7.
I knew they tasted bad.
You'll be fine.
I still don't know that I see why for sure we need to do this. Do you think we'll be okay? Do you think we'll be able? How are we going? Are we going to sloth back up?
Unless we find something amazing to fly us
Gareth!
back up.
Gareth, this is so bad. So our whole plan is to cut the city free, right? And then we're just kind of hoping that it floats back up.
Right.
Yes? What are we supposed to do?
We will cut the chains from on Beacon. Not from the bottom. So we'll float up with Beacon.
Okay. You don't think they'll try to stop us?
I'm sure they will, but at that point we'll be super powerful.
Why?
We'll have had lots of adventures.
We've already had lots of adventures.
And we've grown ever more
I feel
powerful.
pretty powerful.
Look at your biceps.
That's true. You know, I'm really muscular.
Show me your fight face.
It's pretty good, right?
It is good.
Princess Lumbertops and I have been practicing. She's so much better at it than me. Okay, are we ready to go?
Raven, take care of these people.
Oh, we still don't know how we're getting past the devils. Of course.
Tessina, were you gonna make up us?
I already did one of your eyebrows. You didn't notice the weird looks you were getting?
I didn't.
She sketches on your other eyebrow. So now they're both really high. She just does like really thick eyeliner for Evelyn and paints like flames on her hands. And I think she's gonna make like a beard with her hair for herself.
That does look creepy.
At least somebody will want to talk to us.
We just look deranged. Perfect. What could possibly go wrong?
Are we ready to go?
Let's go.
I still don't think we look like devils. Okay, here we go. Okay.
To infinity.
To infinity and beyond. So you guys are climbing down with sloth hands.
And boots.
And boots. Excuse me. Okay. I'm sorry, I just want to make sure that I'm getting this right. Okay, so Gareth, I would like for you to roll anything for your magical ability, or
Nope.
you just like can make it. I just kind of wanted to see how well your plan works. So I would like everyone to make a dexterity check, please.
Dexterity.
See how well you're able to manage.
Oh, Gareth rolled a nat 20.
Gosh. You're so cool. I think it's cute that it turns into a 19.
Tessina rolled a 15.
Okay. So Evelyn rolled an 8. So partway down, climbing down, one of her sloth hands burns and breaks.
Gareth swipes a hand down to try to grab her.
Let's see. So yeah, she's made it like 30 feet out of 500.
That's not far.
Sorry. Yeah, not so good. Okay, Gareth, roll a dexterity saving throw to try to grab her.
16.
Okay, yeah, so you grab Evelyn's hand. So she has one sloth hand and is holding onto your hand.
Okay.
I can figure this out.
Why don't you turn into a sloth and hold onto my back?
That seems humiliating.
Or turn into a cooler animal or something. You could be a snake and sit on top of my head.
You should totally be a sloth. Evelyn turns into a sloth and slams onto your back.
Let's go.
You guys look really cool. So, Gareth, you descend the 500 feet down to the floor of the negative planes.
Wow. Is there like a bunch of fighting and demons and like are we descending into an active war zone?
It's crazy. You are descending into an active war zone. So
like wait, also as we're climbing, do we have like devils and demons climbing up and down the chains too? It seems like that would be like the highway for fiendish access to the city, right?
One would think so, but there are 9 chains, and you guys are just on one.
We picked a good one.
You picked the right one to be on. Let's see. I mean, so if it seems fun for you, we can add more problems for you to hit. I just thought that it might be more interesting. Like, I'm sure there are like imps or something that you guys can just knock out of the way.
Get out of here.
But I think devils would be more cautious about just openly attacking people who are potentially capable of defending themselves on their own plane of existence because they could die, right?
If they're from this plane, then they could die.
Yeah, and they have a little bit more to lose.
That's a great point. Sometimes you have to go to
50
hell
feet
to punch Satan.
feet from the bottom, you guys do run into some more things, you handily defeat them. You reach the bottom. You land on dark black sand. It's just wasteland as far as you can see. But mostly what you see is a raging battle taking place in the fields before you. Kind of like episode 1 of The Witcher.
Cool.
So I'm just going to tell you a little bit what's going on, and then we can decide what to do. Okay. Is that okay?
Perfect.
So there are legions of devils camped on the shores of the river Styx. Armored legions of devils encircle the enormous posts of infernal iron that anchor beacon to the rocky ground. Squads of demons fighting 10 deep in some places hurl themselves into the devil's ranks. Most of those abyssal troops are lowly mains and dretches, who die quickly in vain attempts to drag down devils so the stronger demons behind them can strike killing blows. A dark river cuts a path across the blasted landscape and flows directly beneath the city. Floating on the river are demonic barges being assailed by squadrons of winged devils under the command of a terrifying pit fiend wearing an eyeless helm and clutching a battle standard. Dun, dun, dun.
Wow. Oh my god, that guy looks so cool.
The lady.
Oh, that lady, pit fiend, looks so cool.
I don't see any way for you to know that it's a lady, but... Okay. Sorry, I just want to double check.
And so,
what's your plan?
Just for my edification, is there a devil 5 feet from me, or is it 50 feet, or 100 yards, or?
You guys have like 50 feet at least. So the devils they're fighting. So how the demons get here is through the river somehow.
Yeah.
And so that's where the fighting is happening. So the nearest thing to you is 50 feet away. And so thus far, nobody's noticed you. Depending on your plan, I'm going to ask for like a stealth check or something.
And do we know which direction we think the Eternal Forest is?
My shadow thinks it's to the right.
Okay, so we'll creep to the right.
Okay.
And we'll try to look inconspicuous / like we belong there. So like if they're...
Okay, how are you doing that?
So I'm imagining, right, like chains and then devils and demons. And if there are devils that are like running towards demons to the rightish, we'll get kind of I'm just going to jog along and try to find my place to throw myself into the fray.
Tessina has adopted like a hunch to try to help while she's running around. She's coated Princess Slobber Chops in black black ink or something. Wow. So that she looks like a little not a spine devil, like a little imp.
I bet she loves that.
She's not happy.
Yeah.
Tessina left her head though normal. She looks kind of like the guy who's I forgot his name. Anyway, the guy who sells plants in Animal Crossing. Thank you. Okay.
Leaf.
Roll a leaf. Thank you. Roll a stealth check, please.
I'm really good at stealth checks with my disadvantage.
And you can roll with advantage. Sorry, so regular for the party.
So it rolled 2. The one on the right is 9. The one on the left is 9. The one on the right is 11.
Okay. Is that your...
It's Dex minus...
I understand.
Yeah. So it just like automatically rolls with disadvantage.
So a bearded devil kind of stalks up to the two of you. What's going on here? Do any of you speak Infernal?
I think Tessina does. 1 second. Okay. 1 second. Gareth very helpfully speaks Celestial. Tessina speaks Infernal. What do you mean? What is going on here? We are here to join the fight. Duh.
Why are you all the way back here?
We're trying to find a good place to come in.
There. Where everyone's dying. Go over there.
Okay, we'll get on it as soon as we make sure our gear is ready. You go on ahead.
Roll a persuasion check, Tessina.
Okay. 9.
I think you should go ahead of me.
You're super bossy. Okay, everybody, here we go. And Tessina and Gareth are gonna start. Will I take 2 or 3 steps, like we're heading that way, and then we'll just like cut and run as fast as we can to the right.
Okay. Roll a dexterity check just to see how well your cut and run goes.
Is this for Tessina or Gareth?
I want one for both of you. Yeah, Evelyn is still riding on your back like a sloth.
By the flame in the forge. This is a terrible idea. Oh my god. So Tessina rolled a 10, and Gareth rolled a 5.
Okay. You each take 10 points of fire damage as his trident thing shoots a corrective blast in your direction. What the? Oh, amateurs. And he kind of stomps back to what he was doing.
That was not a good plan. Am I resistant to fire
The
yet?
sloth on your back.
Is she still a
Princess
sloth?
Hovercroft. Yeah, Evelyn's still a sloth. Just kind of toasty sloth.
I've
Are
had
you resistant to fire damage now?
fire damage this whole time. As long as I'm wearing heavy armor, I get resistance to fire damage. You know,
Is
kids,
it because of your...
that means it pays to read. It's my class, Soul of the Forge. Like the whole time, I thought it made sense for him to have it, but jeez, Louise.
It's really funny that you just found it.
I'm real good at D&D.
D&D. Okay. So you now must begin the 10-mile trek to the Eternal Forest. If you move quickly and carefully, you can make it there without running into any more trouble. Da-da-da! Chapter 3! Level up to level 7, please.
Yay! I love leveling up.
Yay! Sorry, I should have had us do this before.
Nah, it's okay. We got this.
Okay.
Super fast.
I just need to click the level thing. And then I just keep going, right? Next. 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 Boom!
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
If we hit something later, then we can talk about if you guys need a pause to take care of your spells. Sorry. So Gareth, I would like for you to please roll a survival check for the party.
Okay.
To follow the shadow's directions to the forest.
Survival check style, following directions to the forest. Here we go. By the flame of the forge. Oh, nat 20 for a total of 22.
Nice.
Plus 1. So 23. Ba-bum.
Ba-bum. So, with little to no problems, did the thing I sent you show up?
It did. Let me share it with our folks.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Sorry, I thought if I shared it with you, that it would share it with them.
I usually have us side by side if it's like mainly us. And then if there's something going on in the other thing, I'll have that pulled up.
Got you. Okay.
Is this all metal?
So, we're making some... I'm going to explain to you what you're seeing in this picture in just a second. I think it's supposed to... so it is supposed to be a junkyard. I'm taking some artistic license. And that's just how it's going to be. Perfect. Okay. So you guys wander the wasteland of the negative planes, Pandora's Gateway, as this part of the negative planes is called, for several hours. I would like for you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Good. So Gareth rolled a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Natural 1. I'm careening from 20 to 1.
You're just all over the place. What about Tessina? Evelyn rolled a 6.
Tessina rolled a 9. So we're all really good.
Cool. So you all take a level of exhaustion.
No.
on your first day of travel because of the combination of oppressive heat and supernatural malevolence weighing on your body and soul.
Nice.
Just
So we
that.
can
No big deal.
We can edit that with conditions on our sheet, which is cool.
Okay. So. Ooh.
Yeah. At the bottom.
What does that do? What happens now?
It'll just automatically like roll ability checks with disadvantage, and it'll like keep track of what happens for each thing. Isn't that fancy?
It is fancy. So I click add active conditions. Oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
What am I exhausted?
At the very bottom. Which level of
1 exhaustion.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Yay!
Yay! We're exhausted.
Alrighty. So you guys travel for 10 miles across a desolate landscape. Roll a perception check. And this is from earlier, so we'll take whichever's higher that it rolls.
Okay. Perception check. Here we go. Sorry, I just leveled up Gareth. Perception check. Maybe it reset my thing because I leveled up. Let me see if it still has me as a... Yeah, I have a level of exhaustion. Exhaustion. So it says 13.
We don't... It doesn't... Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
We can figure out the...
Yeah, 13.
Things later. I just don't know that it's worried about it. So, as you travel, in the distance, you can see... At one point, you see like a really luscious, deep forest. Another point, about 100 feet off the kind of path that you guys are taking that's as direct as possible to what Tessina's shadow is suggesting you do. You see the neighborhood where you grew up. Little children kind of running through, and it kind of like appears. So it's almost like you're walking through nothing on just like sand. And then all of a sudden there's your neighborhood. But as you walk, you see devils come like rampaging through your childhood home, and then the mirage dissipates. What might another thing that Gareth sees on his trek across Avernus be?
Are you all seeing things?
Yes. Yes. It's pretty normal for here.
Are we okay?
Just don't go into the mirages.
Right. Gareth would see... I think that Gareth would see... I think that Gareth would see like respite, or like his forge and his little apprentice being rampaged.
So not everything gets destroyed. Some stuff just looks normal.
Okay. So he'd see his forge and his little apprentice, and he would see... I don't think that he would see his wife, but he'd be on the lookout for her. But I don't think that he... like, unless there's some like actively malevolent force trying to mess with him, I don't think that he would see his wife on the negative plane, you know?
Okay.
And I think that he would see... I mean, a place that might get rampaged would be like Lee's Main. And like, you know, he's thinking about Ruby and Rowan and Ruby's dad, and he'd probably see Lucian like cackling evilly.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
You also see, as you all walk, and Tessina responds pretty strongly to seeing a dark forest of twisted trees with well-built, pretty huts kind of at their bases, and a seemingly close-knit peaceful community. But as you kind of look closer, everyone seems to be undead and moves with like really lurchy steps, and their eyes are all black and hollow. Evelyn, you see, like, as you have a vision and Tessina has a vision, because you can see each other's too. They're just kind of appearing in the landscape as you travel.
That's cool.
It's about like half a day's journey. And so you see, at one point in the distance, you see a battle playing out that is fitting for this landscape. And you see members of the Army of Light fleeing back towards all of you, while in the distance it's just chaos and fire and explosions, and they kind of come cantering past, like you guys aren't there, cantering past where you are, and back where you assume they're heading out.
Does Garrett think it's a vision of the like former battle?
Mm-hmm. And you can tell by Evelyn's reaction, like how, I mean, she's just like radiating anger and frustration, seeing the battle turning in the distance. And it's of the kind of visions that you guys see, except for the eternal forest, which is kind of lingering always a bit further away from you. It is the one that like lingers the farthest, and so it also moves as you go. And so Gareth, I think that you and Tessina are both insightful enough to recognize that part of the frustration for Evelyn with this experience is being too far away to do anything. But this, like the screams and the terror, the horror of that battle reach you all easily, like you're standing right there. But it stays too far away for you to even really see what's going on. Okay. But then,
is that what it
as
was like?
you continue to walk, and I don't know, when something happens that first time, you don't know how it's going to turn out. But I have the added horror now of my sister's reaction to Brendan's death, and everything that goes with that. The rift for the last 100 years in our relationship, and the memory of being too far away to help. I mean, if they had known, do you think they would have done something different? If they knew their city was going to be destroyed and thousands would die because of their cowardice, do you think they would have acted differently?
I'd like to think so, but I can't be sure. It's more than... He kind of gestures around at the hellscape that he's around, and he says, it's more than mortals are meant to bear. I can't hear you.
Oh no!
Oh, there you are.
What about now?
Yeah.
All right, Evelyn said, this place was created with mortals in mind.
Gareth will think about that.
Wait till it gets...
Oh.
Why is it keep not picking me up?
No,
wait till it adjusts to us, and you'll see.
Oh.
No, Evelyn is saying wait till it adjusts. Wait till this landscape adjusts to the three of you, and you'll see what she's talking about.
That sounds extra terrible. And we'll continue.
Although with this one, I think we're in for something interesting, at least. I'm not sure how it's going to react to the cat.
Probably only in our favor.
We'll see. So you guys continue. It takes most of the rest of the day, as it's not super easy to travel through this area. And you reach the edge of the eternal forest. Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
Maybe for next time I can like link to I don't know. Maybe I can do some like Pinterest searching and like get some more pictures for you. But before you see a sprawling, like ragged, super thorny forest, where sometimes when you look at it, it looks like more thorns than trees, or other times it looks like spiky, aggressive pines. Other times they are deciduous trees, but again, overwhelmed with vines and thorns. But it kind of shifts as you look at it. Sometimes it looks swampier, but I think the constant movement in an unchanging landscape, that's kind of meant to be part of the problem. Am I narrating too much?
No, I'm just nodding.
Okay. Until you reach the edge of eternal forest. What do you do?
Evelyn, you've not been here before, have you? Do you think you can put in a good word for us? You're good with forest, right?
With normal forests, I'll try. So Evelyn goes forward and places her hand against one of the trees and begins speaking to it. And she kind of, you see her jerk her hand away and kind of look down at her palm, and she kind of walks back over to the two of you, or sorry, the three of you, counting Princess Slobberchops. Okay.
What happened? Did it bite you?
She shows you her palm, and she has like a big red stab in the middle of it. Yes.
Right, everybody don't touch the trees. Oh, goodness.
The trees demanded a payment of sorts, so
Ugh.
we can enter now. Just see Carolina's like tail just darting back and forth over your shoulder.
Yeah,
she moved now, but it was really cute.
We're very pleased with ourselves. Because we're so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just wanted to check on something real fast.
Okay. Do you need me to do something?
No.
Or is there anything I can do to help?
Perfect. I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything that I can do to prepare us for whatever the heck is going to be in this scary place. So,
okay.
I think, though, that we're just going to see what happens. Here we go.
Okay.
We enter the scary forest of scariness.
Keep going. You enter the scary forest. You've taken the long, lonely walk of loneliness.
Uh-huh. Ooh, wait. The music change. The music change did it.
Okay, you're back with me.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, cutie.
It's not my fault.
I didn't say it was your fault.
Oh, babe, it kicked you out of roll 20. Oh, you're back. Okay.
The music's a little bit loud for me.
Oh, I can't hear it at all.
Well, I have like two conflicting musics. I have like the and then I also have like a
Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna hit refresh again and see if that fixes it, because I turned one music off.
Okay.
And the other music.
Now we only hear the creepy one.
And that's when it cut our our conversation.
And we're back online, so it's all good.
Okay. That's good. We're back online. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Sorry. I need just a second because my Roll20 is resetting. Okay, so you just hear the one creepy music. Is the volume on it okay?
It's a little bit loud in my headset, but it might just be my headset.
Okay, I'm going to turn it down.
So
Is that better?
It is better. Before we go, Gareth is going to take a few minutes, 11 minutes exactly, to cast Augury.
Ooh, okay. What does that do?
Let me see if I can cast it into the... I just copied and pasted it because I couldn't get it to cast, but
Okay.
basically, Gareth is going to spend a little bit of time, like staring into a magic fire that he makes in his hand, and he's going to flick a little bit of magnesium into the fire to kind of make it spark and shoot colors of different things, and from that he's going to try to determine the answer to a question, an omen about the specific, or receive an omen from an otherworldly entity, in this case Vulcan, about the results of a specific course of action that we plan to take within the next 30 minutes. So entering the forest and talking to the strange bird people is what he's thinking about. Wheel for good results, woe for bad results, wheel and woe, or nothing. And the spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as casting of additional spells with the loss or gain of a companion. Yeah.
Okay. And so are you sacrificing with your magnesium? Is it like 25 gold worth of magnesium?
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought some, in anticipation of doing this, I bought something in Respite forever ago.
I'm just asking so that to make sure you're taking it off of your list of materials.
Yeah.
It doesn't say which the spell absorbs, but I'm assuming it does. It's usually the case with money things. Figure it out. Okay. So you you throw your magnesium, you have the clouds. What is your question? What are you asking Vulcan specifically?
Wheel or woe, entering the forest and finding these two birds. Good results, bad results, both, or nothing.
It's weird that you can't just have wheel.
There's wheel. Wheel for good results.
I just see woe. Woe, wheel and woe, nothing.
I see wheel for good results, woe for bad results, wheel and woe for good and bad, or nothing.
I'm just telling you what showed up in my chat. I think it's interesting. For like being in the negative planes. Okay, so you sit there for a minute and kind of wait for the spell to take effect. The smoke that you're casting turns light gray. Swirls gently.
Don't worry, everybody. Vulcan says it's going to be fine. And I walk into the forest with confidence.
Okay. So Tessina and Evelyn follow you. But my shadow says just keep going to the middle.
Right, is the middle this way?
Which way feels like the middle to you?
Onward.
There you go.
We go into the forest and
we turned in a bunch of circles, then we would get turned around.
Don't do that. We're going to be on the lookout for anything creepy or bad.
Okay. So as you walk through the forest, you begin to see these sharp, silvery gray trees. relatively randomly dispersed at first, but then they start to occur more and more often until you encounter basically a metallic forest of some silver, some iron,
Interesting.
but basically, as far as you can see, a dark metallic forest.
Are
And from the center of it, you can see um, a great black treeless. I don't know how into trees Gareth is, but anyway, a giant a giant leafless black iron tree
cool.
with some windows kind of interspersed along the trunk.
Love it. As we go, does Gareth see? I mean, Gareth is his whole thing is metal and stuff. Like, can he determine what kind of metal this is?
Yeah, so I'm sorry. As you go, Gareth, you find most of it is silver. Some of it is kind of silver mixed with other metals. The iron trees seem to be pure iron. Every once in a while, roll a perception check. Let's see if you find anything fancy.
Do you care? Since I'm looking at metal, can I add my proficiency bonus to the perception check?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
don't have proficiency in perception.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about
16
investigation?
plus 3, so 19.
The proficiency in investigation for future reference.
Nope.
Okay. So with your 19, Gareth, at one point you find a platinum tree. You also find a tree of like made of metal shavings that is like that puts off heat. So that one's pretty interesting. You find a tree made of lead. So like metal and metallic substances.
Can I harvest any of this stuff?
I don't know.
Can I try to? Like, I mean, like, as we're walking through the forest, is there like detritus that is fallen from the branches? Are there anything loose, or is it all just like
Not from the
I am a
metallic
tree?
trees. Metallic trees look to be pretty well intact. Everything else looks kind of rough. Metallic trees look to be pretty well intact.
Yeah, so he would carefully probe and see if it seemed like something that he could do without, just like, taking an undue amount of time.
Okay. Make a dexterity check.
Dexterity. $15.
That's what you need. So Gareth, what kind of tree are you trying to take something from?
So you said I see some silver mixed with stuff. I see some platinum, and I see some.
You see pure silver, lead. You see lead shavings. You see. You don't really see very much gold.
I think having some lead would be helpful.
Okay.
So he's gonna take some lead for its density. I think we might need. By the end of this, we're gonna need like a lead hat so that people can't read our thoughts or something.
Okay. So you go to take, bless you, you go to take a branch from the lead tree.
I'll take a branch from the lead tree.
Mm-hmm. So the lead tree is shaped, Evelyn tells you, careful, it's an elm. You go to take a branch from the elm tree, the lead elm tree. You succeed. And you are managed to jump out of the way just in time as a giant branch comes crashing down, like a huge, really wide branch comes crashing down exactly where you've been standing. So in elm tree lore, elm hateth man and waiteth. It was apparently really common for elm limbs to just, and maybe it's still common, I'm not sure, but for elm limbs to just fall on people.
I'm glad
Right,
they
it's
get
probably not funny, but
crushed.
like it's kind of funny that it has like a rhyme, so that's why the elm. Yeah, you managed to jump out of the way in time, and now you have a branch of lead.
Cool. So as we are making our way through this metal forest, and are we heading? Is the black tree with the windows like surrounded by a wall or anything, or is there like an accessible path that we're on right now to get to it?
You're just kind of picking your way through the metallic trees.
And do we see anybody in the windows or see anybody like on top of the tree or anything?
Roll a perception check.
I rolled a 4. The lead
Okay, will
is.
you roll
I
one?
rubbed my eyes.
Will you roll one for Tessina too?
8.
Okay. You guys are really close before you notice 6 small figures in the branches talking back and forth to each other excitedly. What languages does Tessina speak?
Cobbed, Elvish, Infernal, and Sylvan.
Okay. So Tessina and Evelyn both recognize a dark dialect or shadow dialect of Sylvan from among the creatures in the trees. And it's just a moment later, Garrett, that they've brought this to your attention, that you see a shift in the shadows ahead of you. And the shadows kind of coalesce into these great gray wings around a very tall fey woman with curving horns who kind of stares down at the three of you.
Goodness.
And raises an eyebrow.
Greetings. I am Gareth Stosdak, and these are my companions.
And what are you doing here, Gareth Stosdak?
We are here on a quest to redeem the fallen city of Beacon and to return it to its rightful place, to settle the conflict that has been waging for its control.
And why have you come to my forest?
Gareth knows, but I can't remember the names of the 2 people that the shadow told us about.
Chukka and Clonk.
That's it. We have reason to believe that 2 inhabitants of the forest, Masters Chukka and Clonk, will be instrumental in our noble endeavors. But who are you, that we may address you with the appropriate respect?
A wonderful question. You, Gareth Stosdak, may call me Ciela. I am the mistress of the eternal forest.
We hope to not be trespassing too egregiously in your domain, mistress.
None may trespass in my domain who are not allowed to trespass in my domain.
That is a wise policy. So you have allowed us, after a fashion, to proceed forward.
I have.
I wonder what interest you would take in the likes of us. Are you too attempting to rid this plane of the conflict point of Beacon.
I care not for Beacon one way or another, but with you, eyes turn to Tessina, is one who cannot be seen very well. With whom lies questions and answers that I seek.
How's Tessina
Tessina
doing?
tugs on your sleeve. She tugs on your sleeve. I think she's talking about my shadow. Or she wants Princess Slobberchops. So just be careful.
Probably the shadow.
You cannot have the Tressum. She kind of laughs a little bit.
Right. Well, I believe that we're in a situation where we can help each other. If you have questions of our ally, then hopefully you can help us as we attempt to make contact with Masters Chukka and Clonk.
What I would like from the shadow are its memories. Chukka and Clonk are my aides. I'm a fae from the Shadowlands, settled here. I believe, not to be too egotistical, that Chukka and Clonk, the shadow, has likewise sent you to me. I can help you across this dark landscape in different ways than the shield you carry on your back, Gareth Stowstack. If you're able to impress myself and those who reside within my forest, we shall see.
Well, what impresses a mistress of the Eternal Forest?
Avernus.
We've got that in spades, isn't that right? I checked with everybody else.
Everybody nods. You shall see.
I think we're going to do some more riddles, Tessina.
There are no riddles here, not in the traditional sense.
Damn.
Come meet my residents. They'll be so enchanted to greet you.
We go forth.
Okay. You go forth into the Black Oak home of Luciella, the mistress of the Eternal Forest. At the base of the tree, Luciella kind of gestures to the 6 creatures in the limbs, and she kind of just glides away from all of you. And so you see in the tree 6 red caps.
6 red caps.
They're kind of glaring down at you. Mm.
Does Gareth know about red caps?
What's the password?
Does Gareth know about red caps?
Roll a history check, Gareth.
20.
Yes. So Gareth, you know that these are little fae creatures who can be kind of mischievous. Let me see. I'm going to pull up a picture so you can show our people.
Yeah. Oh, the
they're
password.
so scary.
Yeah, they're super evil.
What's the password? I'll kill the cat.
I'm sorry, or you will kill the cat?
I'll kill the cat. Eat it.
No. No, calm down. The password is Redcap.
There's no password. That would be a good one, though. We should probably have that as a password in the future. Okay. You may go inside the tree.
We carefully proceed.
Two of them cackle as they leap down with their scary sides, and follow after you excitedly as you carefully proceed inside the tree.
Gareth will make sure that he is closest to them, and that Princess Slobberchops is furthest from them. And we go inside.
Tessina has Princess Slobberchops. She's holding her above her head like this, or holding her close. I can't decide. So you notice, Gareth, as you're walking in, besides the Redcap insanity, you see lots of parts of, you're not sure what, but like some parts, it looks like gnomish gears, but larger, just kind of scattered around the base of the tree. And then looking around from this perspective out at the rest of the grove before you step inside, you see that some of the trees are made almost from gears or different parts. You see some like metal tubes. You see some bellows. And so some of the things you're used to working with, you see kind of made into tree-like structures that, because they're smaller and not quite as dominating as these giant trees, that they're just a little bit harder to recognize. But the tree that you're stepping inside is made of iron. And the doors are made of black obsidian. So, as you go inside, the Redcaps kind of slam the door behind you and cackle to themselves. You keep going down a kind of glowy green-lit hall. And so you keep walking. The tree is huge on the inside. This is another one of those kind of playing with space type of things. But the hallway that you're going down is 20 feet wide, lit from the floor in a bright green light. And you see, like, you pass a bright purple door, a bright pink door, which Tessina is really interested in. But ahead is clear, soft yellow light that seems to be the most natural looking. And so
as
you
go,
keep going.
Can Gareth ask the two Redcaps?
They slammed the door behind you.
They jumped down. They didn't. So we're just like by ourselves?
Yeah, they like chased you in basically and slammed the door shut behind you.
Tessina, do you want to see what's behind the pink door?
We can if you want to. You think that we should?
You just seemed interested.
We can look at the pink door.
Let me see if it's locked.
Do you think there are more of those scary things there? Because I would not like that.
We'll just tell them that we got lost. Which wouldn't be a lie, because...
But what if they eat us? Or Princess Slobberchops?
No, that won't.
Fern. I blame Fern for not being here.
We checked to see if the door is locked.
Okay, roll a d20 for me.
D20, here we go. 12.
Okay. So behind the pink glowy door, it opens onto a large rounded chamber. You see two bird people in the center, kind of clicking their beaks and looking after this large carriage type thing. And along the edges, you see more of the scary head caps. But you hear like high-pitched squawks coming from the center of the room where the bird people are working on, let's see. Yeah, lots of mechanical parts. There's a platoon of small fey creatures that smelling about, all looking like feral gnomes. Several of them sport red caps, some of which drip with vile ichor. A pair of Kenku examine one of the strange vehicles, chattering to each other in high-pitched squawks. These Kenku carry an assortment of strange tools. As you all walk in the door, everyone turns to stare at you, and the light in the room changes, and it brightens to kind of like sunset light instead of the bright pink that everyone was working inside before.
Masters Chukka and Clonk, Gareth says after if nobody like moves to like cut his head off, then he says that.
So they kind of look at you and say, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
I think that's encouragement, I say to Tessina.
Patience is a virtue.
Now I'm not sure.
A friend in need is a friend indeed. And they wave you over.
We approach cautiously.
Okay. One of them scampers off and comes back leading. This is one of my favorite characters. Let me see if they have art for Mickey. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. I made some changes for our Fae leader, and I don't like someone being called mad as like this is like an inherent part of their being. But one of the Kinku runs back with let's see. Built of disparate fiendish parts, that's trudging. It's moaning and hopping as it walks. So every other step. I'm sorry, I probably upset Buddy.
How horrifying. Gareth puts on a confident face and pretends that this isn't horrifying to him. And is this creature being led by somebody? I'm sorry, it's being led by... So the thing on the left, right?
He comes in by himself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, is Mickey.
Uh-huh.
He comes in by himself. He's being led in by one of the Kenku, Chukka and Clonk.
Okay. Greetings. Right, we're here to help Chukka and Clonk.
One of the other Kenku repeats you. We're here to help Chukka and Clonk. And looks at itself. It looks down at itself and at the other Kenku. Chukka and Clonk.
Right, so... Hello?
Gareth. I think that they're Chukka and Clonk.
Right, I got that. I just don't know what they want us to do. They just have brought in this strange...
Chukka and Clonk, who is your friend? They're very tall. Kind of stare at Tessina for a second. They're very tall, they say back to her. Hello, I'm Tessina. Kind of like a, oh.
Right. Gareth is losing his religion.
Why?
We just don't know what to do. I mean, like, here are these people, and we have no indication of what we should be doing. So I think Gareth is going to say, I think they just repeat what we say. So, Mistress Lucella, we are so impressed with Gareth and his companions. Gareth gives a wink to Tessina and Evelyn, like, I've got this figured out.
Tessina, like, squints at you, like, that was weird. Evelyn just kind of shakes her head. She's just not sure. She doesn't think you're doing something wrong. She's just kind of suspicious.
I mean, does the creature in front of us look like it needs help with anything or needs something? I mean, it needs help with all kinds of things.
Insight check.
By the flame in the forge. I hope I can figure this out. 18.
Okay. The creature in front of you, who, after Tessina goes back and forth a little bit, the red cap starts squealing again, and, oh, do the Mickey! Do the Mickey! And they, like, repeat the creature's gestures where they, like, step on one foot and leap and cry, and then step on another foot and leap and cry, putting these things together. You notice that something seems to be hurting the creature that you assume is named Mickey. And as you look a little bit closer, yes, it is a fiendish flesh golem. As you look a little bit closer, you realize that he has a piece of destroyed bone devil lodged in his foot, which makes walking difficult for him.
Poor buddy.
He can't speak, and so he moans as he walks and does a bit of a hopping dance.
Gosh, well, Gareth has
he's made fun of
pinchers, like, for holding metal, and so he would like to approach, and he says, Mickey, I want to help you, if that's okay. He'll point down to the foot and say, me,
nods.
Better. But he thinks I'm talking about his rope.
It's so cool. Xena comes to help you, so you guys get Mickey sitting down. So Gareth, I need you to make a medicine check.
By the flame in the forge.
You can roll with advantage since Tessina's helping you.
Oh my god. I rolled a 4 and a 5. And a 3, so a total of 8.
You withdraw the bone shard, but Mickey immediately starts bleeding pretty profusely from his foot.
Can I cast a healing spell?
And the crying and screaming starts again. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to cast a 2nd level Cure Wounds.
It's very sweet of you.
18
do you want to roll your
points
healing
of
dice?
Healing.
Wow.
It's the most healing I've ever done.
Perfect. Good job, honey. So you cast Cure Wounds, and not only does Mickey's foot heal, but some of his flesh goleminess seems to right itself a little bit more, and he looks less in pain, and he kind of stares up at you. Ooh.
Mickey.
And you think maybe smiles. A friend in need is a friend indeed. One of the Inku seems to have adopted Tessina's voice, but repeats to you.
Excellent. There was another thing that they said. A friend indeed is a friend indeed. I thought there was another thing that they said. Was there not?
So I've been trying really hard to remember the cliche about like new friends are golden, but other types of old friends are silver.
New friends are silver, I thought.
And an old friend is gold. How does that this, like, whatever the phrase or song is, it's never made sense to me, but Can't remember it right now. Chat, does
Maybe
anybody
chat
know
knows.
that song about the something is silver and the other is gold? If anybody knows, that would be awesome. Anyway, one of them sings that song that we all knew a long time
Idiom
ago.
about friends being gold. Uh,
I'm really excited for whatever this is going to yield.
make new friends but keep the old. One is silver and the
One
other
is
is
silver and the
gold.
other is gold.
Make new friends but keep the old. One is silver but the other is gold.
Yeah, so one of the Kenku starts singing that song.
Oh my god. This hellscape has adapted.
And it points at Tessina with its little feather. It's my shadow, they know it.
Oh goodness, I'm glad you put that together. Shadow.
The shadow is gold and we are the silver. Isn't that nice?
That is nice. Is the shadow saying anything about Chukka and Clonk?
I will ask it. So the shadow says that Chaka and Clonk really like to build things, and you guys they're working on it's an infernal war machine. I still don't know why Gareth would know what that is, but anyway, they're working on this sort of weird carriage that looks like it might drive itself.
Oh.
So, the shadow suggested maybe seeing if we could help them to fix it. They might like that.
Chukka, Clonk, I
don't totally understand why it sent us exactly here, although everyone seems really cool except for the little people who are scary and mean.
Just don't let them near you, I think is the best. Or the cat. Chukka, Clonk, I would love to see what you're working on. I love to make things, and I'll kind of...
I love to make things.
I'll kind of pantomime making stuff and just gesturing over at their war machine.
They wave you over while impersonating you, saying, I love to make things. So they're really excited about you being involved. So Gareth, I would like for you to make either an Arcana or an investigation check. Looking over their vehicle, it will take you at least 10 minutes.
Okay. Is it mechanical in nature to the point where I could add a proficiency bonus or no?
Yeah, that's fine.
By the flame of the forge, I have no idea what this is. Oh my gosh, so I rolled a 4 plus 3 is 7.
So you look for a little bit and this thing is, whatever it is, it's crazy. You're still not totally sure what it does. It's the most complicated clock you've ever seen.
I think it's for threshing wheat.
But then later on, you see...
Does it thresh wheat?
You see a few madcaps. So there are red caps and madcaps here. But you see them drive in on a tiny version of this thing, and they drive back out again of the room. So it's like a child car, like Barbie's dream car, just for Faye.
Mad caps and red caps.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's lots of screaming and yelling. It releases fireworks. The Kenku look really sad after it leaves.
Is this?
Oh, it's okay. Tessina pats them on the back.
It doesn't.
One of those.
It doesn't work.
Doesn't work?
All right, so we've got to fix this thing.
You gotta fix this thing. They start talking to each other in bird again. They seem happy that you understand what it's supposed to do now. And look back at you expectantly, like now you can do it. Now that you've seen one working, you know how to fix this one.
Yeah,
They're
totally.
sure.
Well, I mean, like they got wheels. There's somebody driving it. Are there enough fireworks attached to this one?
Look, roll with advantage for your firework check. Christina gets in the driver's seat, pretends to drive.
By the flame of the forge, I think I've got it figured out. 19.
In the future, you have to roll Flame in the Forge before you see your other rolls.
Okay.
But for this one, it's fine. So, Gareth, while you're looking for fireworks, you find the source of the problem. So one of the parts in the demon grinder, that's the name of this vehicle, a spiky gear is disrupting the flow of infernal energy through the vehicle. Gear, comprised of spikes from a Hezru demon, surges with demonic energy to cause a malfunction. So you found the source of the problem. Gareth, you find this super evil feeling gear that's super spiky.
I don't like the look of that thing.
But you get a sense from it that perhaps removing some of the evil essence from it might help it function better.
I think this thing is too evil to work.
Gareth, is there a way to get rid of the evilness? Do we need to take it into the blue room? We need to wave it around in the air or something.
Do you think the blue room purges evil things?
No. Just an example.
I didn't even think about going in other places. I was gonna start casting magic at it.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Magic that pretty easily gets rid of evilness?
Well...
Or just gets rid of magic?
Do I think that getting rid of the magic entirely would just break it?
Roll an intelligence check. You can add your proficiency bonus since this is mechanical.
12.
Okay, so no, you don't think that it would be a problem.
So I've got some options here. I could ask Vulcan to remove the curse, or I could ask Vulcan to just get rid of the magic.
The birds kind of look at each other. One says, remove the curse. The other says, get rid of the magic. The first one nods, get rid of the magic.
I talk to Vulcan for a minute and cast a spell magic.
Yay! And so now the part is usable.
Yay!
Yay, Gareth! Yay, Buck! So the part is usable. The Kinku are super excited. So there's lots of clucking and clapping and flapping. Princess Slobberchops is getting involved. She thinks it's really cool and exciting. And so with some more clacking and clanging, and it's getting pretty late. You guys are getting kind of tired, but this is a really weird and exciting environment. So they get it. They get the part in place, and then they both hop in the seat and boom, boom. They turn on the infernal war machine. And I think that's where we're going to pause for this week.
I love it. Gareth really wants to learn all he can about infernal war machines because he's pretty sure that this is why Vulcan sent him to the negative planes.
Learn about infernal war machines?
Maybe.
This definitely seems to be part of why the shadow sent you guys here. As you could imagine that these things would be very convenient. Once you figured out how to get out of the eternal forest, it would be very convenient for getting around the hellscape that is. Pandora's Gateway.
Yeah, love it.
Hey, I'm
Demon
so glad. Is that okay?
grinder. Yeah.
Demon grinder. Look, I made a tree.
Wow, that looks good.
Thank you. I wanted to remember what we found. We're gonna call it the Iron Oak Fortress.
The Iron Oak Fortress.
Sounds pretty good.
That does sound good.
Cool. So thank you so much, friends, for joining us in chat. We're so happy that you guys were here. Thank you, those of you who are watching replay of us later. Again, we would love for you guys to like, subscribe, follow, whatever the thing is below. And we'll see you all next week for... Oh my gosh, we forgot to celebrate. This was session 20, wasn't it?
This was session 20, yeah. I almost made a big deal out of it, but then I forgot to in the beginning.
Yay, session 20. That's crazy, right? Session 20. So join us for session 21 next week. Thank you so much to our patrons for supporting us in our stream.
Yeah, we love you all.
And I'm really excited for what else you guys can do in the Eternal Forest.
I'm looking forward to finding out too. Thank you, honey.
You're so welcome. Cool. Well, we'll see everybody next week. Thank you.
Have a beautiful day.